All right, now we're on to Colossians 1:12, and we're still looking at cross-references and how to build that, not only in our Bibles, but in our hearts, so that we can hide it away in our hearts. And as we're in Colossians 1:12, we'll go back a little bit to get the context a bit. Verse 11 says, "May you be strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, for all endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints in light." And so when you come to this verse again, where it's connected back to verse 9, I mean, it's all connected, we know that. But when you look at this and start to understand, as he says, you give thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints, you might come to a place of going, okay, what does that mean? What is this inheritance of the saints? And as you look up the different ideas of what this inheritance in the saints, what this comes out to, again, you might go to concordance, you might look at commentaries, and they may bring up cross references that, here, let me go there and see if they even have some, where, here's a bunch of, highlights of different things, where when you start to look at that and go, okay, what is he meaning by this inheritance of the saints? You might come to different verses, but also, for mine, I think of one in Psalm, and I'm going to make a guess here, actually, so bear with me if I'm wrong here. I think it's Psalm 2. Yep, all right. Yeah. Psalm 16, 16:2 says, "I said to the Lord, you are my Lord. Apart from you, I have no good thing. As for the saints who are in the land, they are the glorious ones in whom is all my delight." And so this is one of those that's like, that is the inheritance of the saints, is Christ has a relationship with the saints, but also we as saints have an inheritance in each other, that we gain each other. And actually, again, I wish I could show you the process of this, but this is how you get there. As you think it through, you find different things. But I think of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, where he's talking about building up the church, and being careful, because we are the temple. So if we're an inheritance together, we're a building that's being built up. So you have 1 Corinthians 3, where he says you need to be careful from around verse 9 on, where he's talking about us as saints together, our temple of the Lord. That's the inheritance of the saints. We have a relationship with each other, and the work we do towards each other, for each other, actually shows in the result in each other. That's what 1 Corinthians 3 is all about. But that also makes me think of, oh boy, I hope no, it's not 1 Peter. What is it? 2 Peter? I think it's 2 Peter chapter 2. I might be totally wrong on that. Nope, that is not it at all. 1 Peter chapter 2, maybe. Yeah, okay, 1 Peter chapter 2, where he talks about that we're being built up into a kingdom. And so again, you'd put down those references, but this is verse 5. It says, "You also, like living stones, are being built into a spiritual house to be a holy priesthood, offering spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ." And he goes on talking about the stone of stumbling, and yet we're part of that. Verse 9 says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people belonging to God, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." So it's not just about us alone, it's about us being built up together, so that as we are a holy nation, basically a kingdom for God, we are actually being built up, not alone, but in each other, with each other. So that's the Christ's inheritance, but it's also ours. And so as you go back to Colossians, he's saying this is a glorious thing. This is a wonderful thing that's happening, that as God works in us, we are not just being worked on alone. We're actually being worked on in ourselves and with each other, but also for each other. So that as I grow, I help others grow. And as they grow, they help me grow. And so that we're interconnected as not only individual believers, but as a body for Christ. And you can get into that in Corinthians as well. But you keep going into this. We're a building, we're a flock, we're a family, we're that body. We're never alone. We need each other. We're supposed to be about each other, but we're also each other's reward as we build that loving relationship that only God can build. Because as it says in Psalm 133, how blessed is it that when brothers live in unity, when we live in unity together, So Psalm 133 is another one that you may want to put down for Colossians 1:12. But anyways, that's where we'll stop for today, and we'll go on to verse 13 next time. God bless you guys.